Good morning, students. In our previous class, we have discussed about RTL, register transfer languages, their bus transfer, memory transfer, register transfer. We have discussed, and in today's class, we are going to discuss about the micro operations. So, apart from the register transfer instructions, under these micro operations we are going to discuss about arithmetic instructions, logical instructions, shift instructions. So here, of course, we can say these are also, even register transfer also comes under micro operations only, but the major difference between this register transfer and these three types of instructions is whatever the data that is stored in the registers will alter, means will change in these arithmetic, logical and shift registers. There is a change of data occurs at the end of the processing of these instructions. But when you come to these register transfer languages, the data whatever is there initially, the same data will be available even end of this. For example, we have, when we discuss like this, R1 like this R2. What does it mean? It means that whatever the data available in R2 register is copied to R1. That's what. Same data in R2 is available in R1, but there is no change in the data. And in the memory transfer or bus transfer also, we have discussed MAR. So, say R1. So, whatever the data that is available in this address register will be copied into R1. Data does not change. In the same way, destination register is R1. So, if say for example, if we have some data in source register, that if you want to copy into the memory, where the memory address is available in the AR register, again here also same data will be copied. So just only copying the data from one location to another location is going to happen in the register transfer. However, in this arithmetic, logical, shift operations, micro operations, whatever the data which we give is considered as input, and on this data some process will be performed, is executed, some process will be executed, and the resultant data, that is at end of the process there is a new data we will find or we will see, that is called as output. So sometimes this output data also contains inputs. So input also may be there, but a new data will be comes out after completion of this process. So this is what actually happened in this arithmetic and logical shift micro operations. That is only the basic difference between these register transfers and these three. Okay. Now let us discuss about the arithmetic instructions in our today's topic. Okay. So today we discuss about arithmetic micro operations. We discuss about the arithmetic micro operations. Basically, in general, if we talk, the various types of arithmetic operations, which you know from your childhood days, and also from the beginning of this computer arithmetic subject, we are keep on discussing many number of times that addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are the four basic arithmetic operations which we are discussing frequently. And remember, there is no separate logic created or developed with the help of the hardware for performing these two multiplication and division operations. Repeating, there is no special logic, or I can't say special logic, there is no special hardware implementation is implemented for multiplication. These two, multiplication and division, are using an inner logic based on the addition and subtraction for performing multiplication and division. As I told you, again I am repeating. So 4 into 7 is nothing but adding. Is nothing but adding 4 7 times. Adding 4 7 times, or adding 7 4 times. So here you just see, performing multiplication we are using addition only. And when come to the division, division is nothing but subtracting dividend by divisor till the remainder is 0 or less than divisor. So we are subtracting dividend with the divisor. How many times till the remainder gets 0 or it's less than divisor? So for example, 37 4 we want to, so divisor dividend, so 37 subtracted 33 subtracted 29 subtracted 25 subtracted 21 subtracted 17 subtracted 13 4 9 4 5 4 1. So how many times we subtracted? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 times we subtracted. And to continue here, we may reach it to this condition, less than divisor. Obviously 1 is less than 4, that's why there is no more subtraction will be performed. So 9 is the quotient, 1 is the remainder. So even here the division is we are performing using the subtract operation. So means you can now understand that the base for performing these two arithmetic operations, multiplication and division, are these two only. So once if we discuss the logic of this micro operation, notation of these micro operations, and the hardware structure of this micro operation for these two, it means that we have completed the multiplication and division. Okay. Now let us see here again. There is one more inner fact we have to discuss, that even we have no direct operation of subtraction in our digital computer language. Rather, addition nothing but simply a plus b. Subtraction in our terminology it is a minus b. But in digital computer, this subtraction is performed using what logic? You know very well. We have already discussed many times. So this is rewritten as a plus b complement plus 1. This is nothing but 2's complement of b. So when you add 2's complement of a number to another number, you will achieve the subtract concept. So again, even subtraction also the basis addition. Okay. So these two micro operations we will discuss. Then the third one is increment. This third arithmetic micro operation we discuss, and fourth micro operation we discuss is decrement. So where we use this increment and decrement? I think, if I am not wrong, and you are already thorough enough in C language, you might have understood the use of this plus plus and minus minus. And generally in for loops or while loops or do while loops, we use I plus plus or I minus minus or plus plus I j minus minus j, like this. These are post increment, pre increment, post decrement, pre decrement, like that. So how it is happening? When you are writing program, it is executing, giving the results as per your constraints and conditions, but internally in the computer, how this part is going to be performed, that we are going to discuss in this increment and decrement. So now we have come to a conclusion that there are basically 4 arithmetic operations, that is arithmetic micro operations, we are going to discuss. So in our register notation, we can say this as, this addition as R3 is R2 minus R1. So the value, the data of R1, plus it is the data of R1 is added to R2 and the result is stored in R3. So you can consider these two are as inputs and this will be as output for addition. And for subtraction, the notation looks like this. So here we are subtracting the value of R1 from the value of R2 and the result will be stored in the R3. As we told and discussed previously that ultimately these micro operations what we are discussing will have a new value when compared with the register memory bus transfers. But this we implement like this: R2 plus R1 complement plus 1, as this is considered as the 2 stop. Now coming to the increment, so R3 will be incremented by 1. So the original value, simply I have given an example of R3, you can say R1 is incremented by 1. So the original value of R1 is incremented by 1. So here what do you mean by incrementing? Say for example, if R1 contains 1101, R1 contains 1101. Now after performing this process of operation 1101, 0001, so plus 1, in binaries we represent like this. So 1 plus 1, 1 0, 0 plus 0 plus 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So at end of this execution, the R1 contains like this. Now decrement means R1 implies R1 minus 1. So one value will be decremented. Now this is the notation of your register transfer in your register transfer language. Now one by one we will take and its circuit we will draw and we will discuss how an addition is performed and how subtraction is performed, how increment and decrement will be performed. So now we are drawing a hardware circuit for the addition operation of your arithmetic micro operations. Remember, to perform these arithmetic micro operations, we use adders. We use adders. Like there are 2 types of adders: half adder, full adder. But how this adder is constructed, we don't bother. How this adder is constructed, we don't bother. Means inside adder is generated or developed using the logical gates. using the logic gates. Adders are represented using logical gates. And I think these adders are called as your sequential circuits in your DLD subject, sequential circuits. And apart from this, I think you have even combinational circuits also. So you might have already discussed the sequential circuits and combinational circuits that were developed using the gates concept. So that's why. So in our today's concept or in our computer organization subject throughout, we don't bother how these are constructed internally, but the functionalities of those we use here. Functionalities means how many inputs they will take, how many outputs they will give, like that we'll say. So now, for performing the addition arithmetic operation or any arithmetic operation, we use full adders and half adders. But remember, either a full adder or half adder used to perform one bit operation, one bit addition or subtraction or whatever it is. So for example, so this is adder. It may be a full adder or maybe a half adder. So it takes two inputs 0, 1 and gives two outputs sum and carry. So 1 plus 0, you know, this one, there is no carry. Okay. So if it is 1 plus 1, then 1 plus 1 is 1, 0. So sum is 0 and carry is 1. So either full adder or half adder takes two inputs and gives two outputs. But the difference between this full adder and half adder is this full adder, when compared with the half adder, it takes a third input value, that is carry from previous. So if you are planning to add 3 bits together, then instead of using, we use full adder. So either full or half adder will be used. But what I would like to tell you here is, these full adder or half adder are used for performing addition of 2 bits. Remember, 2 bits. But when we want to design a logic, we don't keep addition of bits in mind. A binary data, binary input. That binary input may contain 4 bits or may contain 8 bits or may contain 16 bits. So total together we have to add 2 8-bit numbers, 2 8-bit numbers or 2 4-bit numbers or 2 16-bit numbers. We have to plan adding, subtracting, whatever it is. So this is only single bit. So when it is single bit addition, if you want to perform addition of 2 8-bit numbers, we use 8 adders. Okay, that circuit, the hardware part, whatever you call, which we design now for performing n-bit numbers or 2 numbers of n-bit size each. Repeating, whatever the circuit or hardware component now we are planning to design or discuss is meant for adding 2 numbers of n-bit size each is called as a binary adder or binary subtractor or binary incrementer or binary decrementer. Binary adder, binary subtractor, binary incrementer, binary decrementer. A full adder, half adder. So how a full adder or half adder are different from a binary adder, if anybody asks you. A full adder or half adder are meant for performing the addition operation of only 2 single bits. I am repeating. A full adder or half adder are meant for performing addition operation only for 2 single bits, whereas the binary adder are meant for adding 2 numbers of n size of bits. Each number contains n bits. So what is here the meaning of n? It is the size of the data. So it may be a byte, or maybe a nibble, or maybe a word, or maybe a double word, or whatever it is. But how many bits that contains, that register contains, those many adders we need to have. Those many adders we need to have. So for simplification of and for easy understanding, in throughout our session of this arithmetic micro operations, we will consider that our register size is of 4 bits. Our register size is of 4 bits, and we will construct a 4-bit adder or 4-bit subtractor or 4-bit incrementer also, and that can be extended upon the size of the register. So now let us see the hardware implementation of your addition operation. One, two, three, four. But you would not, for easy understanding, I started from 1, 2, 3, 4. But in our digital language, we should not. So we have to start here FA1, FA2, FA3, and FA4. We have to start from 0 onwards. So carry, this carry, carry, carry. So because it is a full adder, it will have okay. So it is B0, A0, B1, A1, B2, A2, B3 and A3. Initially this input is 0. This input is 0. Now how it is going to work out, we will see. Okay, output sum. Here in the previous diagram I have written sum and carry, but here what is happening, this carry is nothing but this only. So this carry is transferred to next full adder. So it also S0, C0, S1, C1, okay, S2, C2, okay, S3, C3. If because it is a 4-bit register, our register size is assumed as 4-bit. If it is 8-bit, you will continue like this as a chain. Now let us see that register A contains 10, 10. Register B contains 10, 11. Okay. Now here this is 0th bit, first bit, second bit, third bit. Means A0, A1, A2, A3, B0, B1, B2, B3. So for the first full adder, that is FA0, we have given a carry as 0. Initially, a carry what we have inputted is 0. So 0 plus 1, 1 plus 0 is 1. So here it is 1 and there is no carry generated. This is 1. So this carry is transferred to here 0. So here 0 is transferred. 1 plus 1, 1 0 plus 0. So 1 0. So here this is 0 and 1 carry is generated here. That 1 is transferred to next bit. So 0 plus 0, these two are 0 0 plus 1. So this 1 carry whatever is transferred that. So it is 1, that is this is 1 and the carry is 0. This 0 is given to here as a third input and 1 plus 1 is 1 0. So here this is 0, this is 1. So at end this is total 1 0 1 0 1 is your total. So here C is equal to A plus B means this is A value, this is B value, this is the C. Okay, as we know very well that a register length is of not 5 bits, so this will be and you can ask me, sir, our computer is having only 4-bit registers. So A is a 4-bit register, B is a 4-bit register, C is also 4-bit register. Then what will happen is, so this C now contains only 0, 1, 0, 1, which is not our final result. So including this is our final result. So at that situation, when your computer is working with only 4-bit registers, we will have certain flag registers. They are carry flag or borrow flag, or negative flag, or you can say simply sign flag. So whether the result is positive or negative, sign flag, okay, or overflow flag, all this in this situation. And remember, the size of each flag register is of 1 bit. The size of each flag register is of 1 bit. So when you are going to perform the addition, if a carry is generated, then this carry flag will become active. The carry flag will become active. So before displaying the sum result at this situation, the user will check out the carry flag always. If the carry flag is inactive, means if it is 0, whatever here you got is C value is considered as final output. And if the carry flag is become active, then the end carry flag and C, EC will be the final result. So where E contains 1, C contains these 4 bits. So while displaying the output in the program, in the logical program, so we will either display only the value in C or the value of E and C, depends upon the status of the carry flag. If the status of the carry flag becomes active, means there is a carry generated with this operation. If the carry flag at end of the operation is still inactive, there is no carry. Like this we will perform. This is the hardware circuit for your addition operation. Okay, now let us draw the circuit diagram for your subtraction. So here, when we are going to draw the subtraction, we need to simplify our hardware part of our computer. Means in our computer, as I told you, there is a part called as ALU, Arithmetic Logical Unit, that performs all the arithmetic operations. Do you think that it contains one circuit for addition? It contains one circuit for subtraction, one circuit for increment, one circuit for decrement? No. Combined it together, there is a single circuit will be there. So when we are going on keep, we will try to combine the circuits one by one. So now here we will draw a circuit for performing binary adder and subtractor together. Binary adder and subtractor together. So the previous circuit, what we performed or what we discussed is only a binary adder. Now we will see how a binary adder and subtractor will be designed and will be worked out. Okay. Let's take. Okay. Okay. That is a full adder, one more full adder, and there is one more full adder. So here, see how I drawn the binary adder, like that one I am drawing. So you know here you will have S0, S1, S2 and S3. Now C0, C1, C2, C3, and here initial carry will be there. This may be either 0 or 1. In previous case, in previous binary addition, we have discussed only 0. The initial carry value will be 0 only. Now I have given the two possible values of carry C bit as either 0 or 1. So because we are performing this for addition and subtraction. Okay. I think you know the gate what I am drawing here is an XOR gate. Is an XOR gate. An XOR gate where every XOR gate will have, or every logic gate will have two inputs and one output. So here also it will have two inputs and one output. Two inputs, one output. Two inputs, one output. Two. Now what are those two? That is B3. One input of this XOR gate is B bit. That is a value in B register. Value in B register, and the second input is your carry bit. The second input is your carry bit. Now here, sir, you have fully added also contains two inputs, but one input is the output generated from this XOR gate. So the second input is your A0, A1, B0 and A2 and A3. Okay. Now, do you know what is the property of XOR gate? Means the truth table of XOR gate? B XOR 0, B XOR 1. B XOR 0, B XOR 1. So what is the output of this and what is the output of this? Here B means the value that is there in the B register. So here 1 0 1 1. Let us assume I am taking examples randomly. So here this is BI means B0, B1, B2, B3. So here BI we can. So each bit of the B register, is XORed with either 0 or 1. See what we are sending here, M. We are sending M. So that M value might be 0 or maybe 1. M value may be 0 or maybe 1. If M value is 0, that is 0, and BI is there, what will happen? The result what you get here is BI. But here, the result what you get is the B XOR 1 is BI complement. How? So I think for this, you need to go for your truth table of XOR. So one input is either 0 or 1. The second input is BI. So this BI is maybe 0, maybe 1, maybe 0, maybe 1. Okay, like this. So whenever the BI value is XORed with 0, so here you will get 0 or 1. So if this BI value is XORed with 0, here you will get 1, 0. This is the output of your truth table, if I am not wrong. So when two inputs are same in XOR gate, remember when two inputs are same, the output will be 0. Recall your XOR gate. If you don't remember, and if two inputs are different to each other, the result will be, that is output will be 1. As per my knowledge. So here BA is 0 and the C value is 0. What we got? 0. That is BA only we got. Fine. Now here BA is 1. The C value is 0. So what we got is 1. So again here we got BA. Yes. Now here BA is 0. The C value is 1. BA is 0. C value is 1. What we got is 1. So what is 1? It is actually complement of 0. Yes. So here we got BA complement. Fine. Now here the BA value is 1. C value is 1. Result what we got output is 0. And 1 is input, 0 is output. This is also called as BA. So BA value is XORed with 0. Then we will get the result as BA. The BA value either 0 or 1 XORed with 1, we will get BA complement. So here this input may be B0 or B0 complement. Here it is maybe B1 or B1 complement. Here it may be B2 or B2 complement. Sorry, not this. This one XOR after XORing. So here this output is B0 or B0 bar. Here it is B1 or B1 bar. Here it is B2 or B2 bar. Here it is B3 or B3 bar. Depends upon the value of it. Now, how this truth table of this diagram looks like and how both addition and subtraction will be performed using same circuit, we'll just check out now. Let's take the first full adder, FA0, FA1, FA2 and FA3. We'll check it out. So here, assume initially C value 0 only. So now when C value is 0, what is our first input here? It is 0. Fine? A full adder will take 3 inputs. So 0 and this is B0 or B0 bar? B0. So it is B0, 0 plus B0 and here plus A0. Okay. So you will get C0 and S0. That is sum as S0, carry as C0. Okay. When it is, if C is 0, assume, and if we explain for one full adder, the remaining expression will be same for the remaining full adders also. If C is 1, assume C is 1, that is M is also 1. Now, when M is 1, M is this 1 and this is B0. As we told you, B0 XORed with 1 will get B0 complement. So here 1 plus B0 complement plus A0. Here also S0 will get, C0 will get. But what is this? B0 bar plus 1. A0 plus B0 bar plus 1. What does it mean? It is not, don't you think that it is nothing but A0 minus B0? Sorry, A0 minus B0? Because my subtraction operation is nothing but addition of 2's complement. So B0 bar plus 1 is 2's complement of B0 only. That's why. So when C value is 1, the same 1 is given there as input to one XOR gate, where this 1 plus B0, you will get B0 bar as one input and already A0 as another input. A0 plus B0 bar plus C is 1. So this is nothing but B0 bar A minus B. So for first, same here also. If it is the C value is 1 or if you say 0, same C0 what we got will be giving. So for all addition will be performed because here whenever C0 is 0 or carry is 0, this M will be always 0 for all. So when it is 0 for first XOR, 0 for second XOR, 0 for third XOR, 0 for fourth XOR. Yeah? So when it is same B0 plus 0, here you will get B0, A0, B0, like here also 0, B1 you will get A1 plus B1. Previous carry, however it generates in the previous addition also. So A1 plus B1 plus whatever the carry is generated, that will give S1 plus C1. Again here M value is 0, we will get B2, so A2 plus B2, the carry generated from the previous. Just looks like your previous added circuit. But the problem only here is whenever the value of C is 1, so the whole thing. So value of C is 1 means M will become 1 here, M will become 1 here, 1 plus B1. Instead of generating all B0s or B1s, will generate B0 complements. Okay, B0 complements will generate, and whenever you are adding a complement plus, you will get 1 here, that 1 and this complement will become as a 2's complement. So this one plus 2's complement of this one is nothing but a subtraction. So all this S0, S1, S2, here S stands for subtract 0, subtract 1, subtractor. In previous sum 0, sum 1, sum 2, sum 3. Here it is subtractor 1, subtract, like that. A difference you can say. Okay. Now this is again a 4-bit register only. But if you have 8-bit registers, then you need to have 8 full adders like this. I think you might have understood how a binary adder and subtractor is performed within this circuit. Clear? Now we'll discuss the increment and decrement part. Increment, binary incrementer and binary decrementer. Binary incrementer. How the circuit looks like for the binary incrementer, we'll see this now. 1. Again, here also we are considering our register sizes of length 4 bits only for easy explanation and for easy understanding. Half adder 0, half adder 1, half adder 2, half adder 3. So here for the binary incrementer, we are using half adder instead of full adder. So incrementer means, what do you mean by increment? Your relation A is equal to A plus 1. So means if you take A value is 1 0 1 1, this is A value, and adding 1 means it is nothing but adding 1 means plus 0 0 0 1. So 2 4 bits we are adding. Am I correct? So here 0 0 0 means last bit only 1, the remaining bits are zeros. So here what is the difference between an half adder and a full adder? Dear students, what is the difference between an half adder and a full adder? Both half adder and full adder will give 2 outputs, but half adder will take only 2 input values. However, the full adder will take 3 input values. That is the difference between an half adder and a full adder. Okay. Now, so this is S0, C0, that will be given S1, C1, that will be given, or you can say like simply given S2, C2, S3 and C3. There is a matter. Yeah. Okay. Now we will see how it is going to work out. Remember again, increment means adding 0 0 0 1, a 4-bit value to A0. So now here we are giving a logical 1. Okay, logical 1 as input. Now, as we have discussed, 1 0 1 1. So this is A0, A1, A2, A3. This is A and one logical 1. This is 0 0 0 1. So we are adding. So you don't bother about these 0 0 0 zeros. So we will first see this bit 1 is given as input over there. So A0 plus 1. So here what is A0? 1 plus 1 1 0. So here 0 0 and there is a carry. So 1. Okay, this 1 is gone as input. So here 1 already there is no third input. This 0 is not given here. Only first time we have passed a 1 over there. So here the previous carry 1 and plus this 1. This is 1 0. So here 1 0. This 1 is carry. So here A1 is 0 0 plus 1 1. Okay. Here 1 no carry. The carry is transferred here. So 0 0 plus 1 is 1. So that is this 1 1 0 0. So 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1. So what is this? 2 power zeros, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3. So this is 8 plus 2 plus 1. This is 11. So it is 1 1 0 0. So 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3. This is 8 plus 4 plus zeros. The 0 is 12. So when you add 1 to 11, you will get 12 only. Yes? If you are incrementing 11, incrementing is adding 1 only, you will get 12 only. So this is the circuit for your binary increment. Okay? Now let us see the binary decremented circuit. Let us see the binary decremented circuit. Simple. Before we are going to draw the circuit for binary decrementer, we will see a small magic here. We will see a small magic here. You just see A is equal to 1 1 0 1. I am adding all ones here. 1 plus 1 is 1 0. 1 plus 1 is 1 0. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 1 1. 1 plus 1 is 1 1. 1 plus 1 is 1 1. So this will keep it. So 1 1 0 1 minus 1 means 0 0 0 1. So 1 minus 1 0 0 1 minus 0 1. What we got? But what we did here is, this is what we are supposed to do. Means a number A decrementing 1. So we should get this one. Yeah. Now this number A, instead of subtracting 0 0 0 1, we are adding 1 1 1. All ones. Instead of subtracting 0 0 0 1, we are adding 4 ones. Then same result we got here. So we'll keep this end carry aside. Actually, what do you mean by all ones? I'll tell you now. So 0 0 0 1 is, say for example B. Now what is B complement? If it is B, B complements converting all zeros into ones and ones into 0. 1 1 1 0. Okay. Add 1 to this. So means 1 add 1 1 1 1. So this is B bar plus 1. What is B bar plus 1? Nothing but 2's complement of B. B bar plus 1 is nothing but 2's complement of B. So here all 4 ones means what it is? All 4 ones is nothing but 2's complement of 0 0 0 1. All 4 ones means 2's complement of 0 0 0 1. You got my point? Here when we are performing addition of a number to the 2's complement of another number. Go back to your previous classes, complement additions. When you are performing addition of one number to the 2's complement of the second number, if a carry is generated, simply discard it. That's what we have discussed. If I am not wrong, if you don't know that, you just go back to my previous classes of complement additions and subtractions, you will get all that. So when I am repeating again, when you are performing addition of one number to the 2's complement of another number, if a carry is generated, any carry is generated, simply discard it and consider this is the final result. That's what I told you. If no carry is generated, convert this into the 2's complement, that will be the final result. That is the basic principle I told you when you are performing the complement subtraction. So now, how I get the binary decremental? Simply adding all fours, n ones to n bits. Means if the size is 4 bits, 4 ones you need to add. If the size is 8 digits, you need to add 8 ones. That's it. Adding all ones to the input value, you will get the decremental of that input value. Now, based on this explanation, let us see how the binary decremental diagram looks like. Simple, very simple binary decremental. FA, 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 FA. So A3, A2, A1, A0, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. There is simply you can say second output value of each full adder. Okay. Now how it is going to work out like previous? So A0 is 1. What we are doing? We are adding 1 to it. Okay. 1 plus 1, 1, 0. So this will be 0. This carry will be 1. You will get why I am taking full adder here. Previously for the binary incremental I took only half adder. Okay, here because third input is arising, I have taken full adder. Okay, now C0 is 1, 1. So here 1 more 1. So means this one is this one is carry. So A1 here is 0. So 1 plus 1. So again 1, 0. Okay. Now here one input is 1. The second input here too is 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1. This is 1, 1. So here one input is 1. Okay. Carry is 1. A3 is there. 1 plus 1 is 1, 1. So as I told you, you can simply discard the carry. So 1, 1, 0, 0. So 1, 1, 0, 1 minus 1 is 1, 1, 0, 0. This is the way how you are going to perform the decrement operation. So today we have discussed binary adder and binary subtractor. That is binary adder and binary subtractor and binary incrementer, and finally today binary subtractor. Now our major doubt here is, as we discussed in the initial part of today's session, to perform each single operation, do I need to have or do we need to design a separate hardware like this? One is for binary adder, one is for binary subtractor, and one is for the binary incrementer, or one is for binary decrementer. No need, need not. for all these 4 operations, we can have a common circuit. That common circuit performs addition of 2 binary numbers, subtraction of 2 binary numbers, incrementing a binary number or decrementing a binary number. Once if that circuit is performing all these 4 operations, then you can perform binary multiplication and also you can perform binary division, because the base for multiplication and division are addition and subtraction only. Once if you go through that full circuit, then your arithmetic operations or arithmetic micro operations will be over. So we will discuss that common circuit in our next session. So thank you.